Hello, RaceAl users. My name is John Marble. Tonight I will be going over the RaceAl app for spectators of RaceAl races. It will look like this particular icon. This is the iOS version of this. Note there are two apps that are RaceAl. One of them is RaceAl for spectators. That's the blue one. The other one is RaceAl Racer for racers themselves. If you're a spectator, don't use the purple one. The purple one is for racers only because it will track you and it will send that position to RaceAl. And we don't want to track spectators, so please, if you have this app, delete it. Don't use it. You don't need it. Rather use this one, the blue one with the yellow owl on it. That's RaceAl for spectators. This is the entry screen. You'll notice that it will show you what race event you have and some other options you want to use. It's a fairly simple app. First thing you want to do is select your race. I'm going to go ahead and pick this Red River Playback. This is from a race about a year ago. All right, so I select that. And the next thing I see here is your racers. This allows you to down select from the hundreds to even thousands of racers out there that might be participating in this event. You don't want to see them all. You might want to just see the few that you're interested in. So let me enter a few here. I'll start with like number one. Notice that if it is just a single digit, you'll want to pre-pad it with a bunch of zeros. So always 4 digits. Separate it if you want to add more. I'll add, I don't know, let's pick one. How about 0007? And then maybe one more. We'll do 0077. All right, so now I've got 3 racers entered in, and I can always down select to see just those folks. All right, first thing you see here is pretty interesting. It's the race map itself, which shows you kind of God's eye view of the map. Go into that. You'll see the race course displayed, as well as these red dots. These are checkpoints along the way. So we've got the end, Half Moon Drive-In, 28 miles. We've also got the starting point, the St. Vital Park. Okay. Um, you'll see the racers pop up once they load. I'll zoom in just a little bit here to take a look at those folks. There we go. So we have racers as they appear on the map, with 77 is currently the leader here. You might want to see what's up with that person. So if you click on the icon, it will show you details of that racer. So I'll see the team name, I'll see the racer number, I'll see who's doing it, what division, their place, and their status. Okay, so status is in and out of checkpoints. Sometimes they might check into a checkpoint and not leave for a while. You'll see an in there. If they're out, that means they've left a checkpoint and they're transitioning to another one. Place, the first number is going to be the overall place. Second number will be the division place. So in this place, 77 is first overall and first in the division. You'll see percent complete, that's percent complete for the course, their average speed, and then their next checkpoint, which will be right here. Next checkpoint is the Royal Manitoba Yacht Club. They are expected there at 9:17 p.m. The last one is where they just came from, Manitoba Canoe and Kayak at 7:47. You'll see their current location in Latin long, and then the location time when they last updated there. And if we have the data, you'd also see things like their battery status if it's a phone. One thing that is interesting is you might also want to see their split times and ETA to next checkpoints. So if I were to click and hold, this then shows all the checkpoints downstream in this case. So it says the start, you'll see the in and out at the first checkpoint, in and out at the second point, third point, etc. Notice down here it says estimated, as in estimated time to enter and to leave. So here for the Royal Manitoba one, it's 17.8 miles in. Its in is going to be around 9:18 at 9:17 p.m. and estimated out. And you'll see that all the way down every checkpoint. So estimated finished in is around 10 p.m. Central Time. One thing we might want to do here is look at, let's do this. Let's get rid of the English units because they're not as good. And let's go to the metric, and then you'll see everything in kilometers and so forth. So we'll stick with metric for if we're in Canada. All right, head back out. Now say I want to see, I don't know what these numbers mean, but I do know teams. I want to go to options. Options is always available for you at every one of these screens. It shows you what you can do with the data and how you can display things. Let's first do the show your racers thing. So here I'm going to down select all the plotting boats into only my racers. So if I do that, press done, I'll see just the folks I was interested in at the very start. So there's my 3 folks, 1, 2, 3, and no one else shows. So that's kind of nice to be able to get rid of all those different markers because they can kind of overwhelm the screen. All right. Another interesting option here, of course, you can do the normal things like divisions and things like that for filtering. I usually recommend you do this thing called show active racers only. What's going to happen is as they get done, you're going to start seeing a whole lot of racers pile up at the very end of the line. So they'll check into the end checkpoint, and then their little marker is going to stay right there. So a handy thing to do is just say show race active racers only, and then anyone who is done or who has dropped out of the race just disappears from this map. So you no longer see them and they don't clutter things up. So that's always a handy thing. Um, stale racers. All right, I don't know if we have any right now in this race. Let me go back and turn on all the racers. Oh yeah, here we go. So notice down here, you'll see anything in red. Red is simply that their data hasn't updated for a while. That there can be a lot of causes of that. Winnipeg has really good cell phone service, so most likely something wrong with their phone maybe. They don't have service. They might have exited the app. Anyway, they're not tracking, or they've lost cell service, or the battery's dead, etc. A lot of different reasons means that they kind of go stale. So sometimes it's useful to not see them. So I usually go here and say hide stale racers, and then anyone who's red will disappear off your screen. So then you see only those who are actively tracking on your screen. Okay. Another thing that I find really useful is estimated positions. This one I will tend to recommend everyone use because what happens there, these trackers only update every, probably between 5 and 10 minutes, okay? So you're always having to do some math in your head, which says, okay, given where they were, where do I think they will be, given the speed they're traveling at, kind of a math problem from grade school or whenever you were taught algebra. But if you turn on estimated positions, then it's going to do that math for you, and it will show you where at least RaceOwl believes they are. So until they go stale, it will go and it will calculate, given their average speed, where it believes it to be. So you'll see it actually moving along the screen here about I believe it's every few seconds it'll update. And you'll just see the little markers kind of moving along as they go. All right, so that's pretty useful. Usually pretty accurate too. This app will update about every 5 minutes. It'll go to the server and ask the server, where are my racers at? Early on in the race, especially, the average speed isn't quite figured out yet, so it hasn't quite figured that out and doesn't know what average speed that these racers are going at. So in that time, you'll see this be kind of off a little bit, and there might be where you might want to turn this off, and then it'll kind of return to where their last position was set at. Otherwise, you get kind of after a half hour of the start, that average speed is usually pretty accurate. It doesn't know when they stopped, but if they're moving down river or on whatever race course, it'll be pretty accurate as far as where they're really at. If you want to force a synchronization with the server, then you can simply go down here and press update racers. It will download the current known positions of all the racers. Again, they're not updating that often. You don't need to just sit there and press that all the time, but every so often it's not a bad thing. Okay, so here's where it believes they're at. I turn back on my estimated position, let it keep kind of going. It'll move them up the upriver a little bit and so forth. So right now I'm seeing their race numbers. It's also kind of sometimes nice to see the race teams, because if you're like me, I can't remember whose number's what, but I can remember what a race team is. So you might want to turn on Show Race Teams, and you'll see the various different teams, team names that they've got. One thing to note is the different colors of these icons. That has specific meaning. If they are the same color, they're in the same division. So here, let's see, let's find, there's two red ones. There's a red one, so that one is solo male, and this other red one here is going to be that same division, solo male. So everyone the same color is in the same division. They're competing against each other. Let me see, what else do we want to show here? Let me see, object scale. If you want to get really small, you can always move this down, and then your little icons will get really bitty, but you can see a lot of folks that way. And of course, step map type, switch yourself between roads and terrain, etc. All right, I think that does it for this particular screen. We'll get out of this, go back to the main screen. All right, the next thing that really interesting is actually where I spend a lot of my time, is on the leaderboard. This one shows you the whole race, all the folks in it, and it shows you some kind of very distinct and minimized data that kind of tells you where the current state of the whole race is. If you look at each one of these, each racer, you'll have their overall position, their division position, their boat number, their team name, and the next checkpoint. So in this case, Royal Manitoba, due in at 9:20. Up here you see the percent complete on the course, and you just can see all the folks in this race. Again, green means they're currently actively sending position data. If I go and turn this off, you'll see red ones kind of shown up, which a lot of times they didn't start, or again, they might have had some tracker issue. This is actually a lot more than normal, but just because this is junk data, and I didn't bother making it pretty. Okay, so what else here? Again, from here, you can do sorts on just your division. This is where you might want to see just a particular division, and like only the female paddlers here, and so forth. Go back to all. I think that's about it. I guess one thing here on next checkpoint. This can sometimes be confusing. This one is only going to display folks going to that checkpoint. So if I do half moon, I go back, I have nobody, right? Because no one is yet going into half moon. They're not ready for that in this race. So it's only going to show people that are currently en route to that checkpoint. So I might want to go back and look at anyone en route to Manitoba. And there you go. These are all the people still on the way to Manitoba. People that are past it are not shown on this list. Sometimes that confuses people. All right, that's about it. There is the splits in ETA. Again, you can get to it from here just by holding and clicking on it. Like click and hold it, it'll show you that. Otherwise, you can actually go directly here to splits in ETA, and it'll show you for your racers. It'll let you go and do kind of toggling through them if you have more than one. All right, I think that's it. Have a great day.